Hello Seekers, welcome to Punneit's Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Saturn will go retrograde on 23rd of May in the sign of Capricorn. Whenever a planet goes under retrogression, the amplification of energy happens, and whether the planet is good or the planet is bad, the amplification will happen eventually. Saturn retrograde happens every year. It's a very common phenomena, but this time, after 30 years, Saturn is going retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, which is its own house. And because of the retrogression happening in your own house and also the amplification which happens afterward, the results of retrogression becomes very interesting, and the impact it will create on the entire mankind, and especially your own horoscope, is noteworthy. Karma will reign supreme, and we will try to understand for different houses, for different ascendant, how the retrogression will behave for you. So stay tuned till the end. And do not forget to hit like, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. Because when you subscribe, you stay connected with me. Explore my channel for other videos. You can follow me on social media. All the links are in the description box below. And to take my consultation, you can drop me an email. The email ID is in the description box below. So let's continue the effect of Saturn retrogression for all ascendants. Ascendant number 1, Aries ascendant. For Aries ascendant, if you see, Saturn will become retrograde in the 10th house. Because 10th house is the house of karma, Saturn's retrogression greatly influences the way you decide your karma. Also, it influences your career house. Because 10th house is also name, fame, and your relationship in the society, your status in the society. Saturn will influence all those things and will give you results according to the karma that you have done. Retrogression is the best time when Saturn is focused, and this time it is focused on your career house. So this is the good time to think, go to the drawing board, think about your career right from scratch. You can plan a lot, and you can take few necessary steps to expand your career, to elevate your career, enhance your career. But whatever you do, it will make you go back to the drawing board, and maybe you can learn few things from the past. Especially if you are a famous personality and if you are looking for name and fame, Saturn is not responsible for name and fame, but Saturn is a planet that gives you your karmic results. And because this is the karma house, you need to focus on how you deal with society, how you deal with other people. Again, Shravana is a very positive nakshatra where Saturn becomes retrograde. When Saturn is getting retrograde in this particular nakshatra, you need to focus more on hearing the voices of maybe your employees, the people who are trying to give you advice, especially your old people, the people who are your well-wishers. You need to listen to them. This is the time when the ego will be crushed. This is the time when whatever plans you have made, that will not become successful. You will hit a roadblock, and that roadblock will force you to take a U-turn back to the drawing board. So overall, the position of Saturn in the 10th house is actually good for you because it's a amplification in the career house, but only if your approach towards career is changed a bit. Your approach toward career goes slightly deviated from what you're doing right now. So this will force you to change your course, and don't get frustrated or irritated by that. Things will not be in your hand. It will be kind of compulsive things that will happen. So pressure will be felt by you. Also, the inclination of Saturn will be towards 9th house. It's good that if you visit temples, it's good that if you read scriptures, it's good that if you connect to your own culture, to your own roots. And because you get connected to your own ancient roots, wherever you are, whichever part of the world you are, this will improve the Saturn. You will get to know a lot more, and you will learn more. And once you learn, you will be able to convince yourself for the next course of action that you decide for yourself. Also, if you see that the 11th Lord is in the 10th house and it is getting retrograde towards the 9th house, this means you will work harder than usual to fulfill your desire. You will work harder than usual to actually change the course of your destiny, change the course of life. but results will not come so easily, because this is loss of result, this is loss of karma phal. So for Aries ascendant, this is the time when you only work hard and you expect a result after Saturn stops retrograding. That means towards the end of this year. It may be a long 140 days of hard work, but if you accept this, if you take it on a positive note, you will find yourself in a strong boat. And even if the tides are there in the sea, even if the currents are huge, the boat is strong enough because you have laid the foundation. This is the time to lay foundation in your life. On the other hand, if you see, the aspect of Saturn, retrograde aspect, falls on the 12th house. So definitely this is going to prevent your losses, but you will have to work hard to achieve that. This is not the time to invest into a lot of risky business, risky income. Not a time to randomly switch job or take a huge risk in your career front. This can create some financial crunch in this case. On 20th of June, Jupiter will also become retrograde, and it will actually move into the sign of Capricorn in few months' time and join Saturn. This definitely means that 12th house Lord will have the motion towards 10th house. So something from the foreign, something from the past, someone from the past, it will actually help you. You can also look into your mistakes of the past and correct yourself and don't commit that. Or you can rely on somebody, a good person, a good Samaritan, somebody who has helped you in the past. He might help you once again. On the other hand, if you see, the position of Saturn with respect to Rahu is 9th, and this is getting retrograde. For the entire duration when Saturn is in Shravana Nakshatra, Rahu will be in Rohini Nakshatra. So in this case, both Rahu and Saturn are influencing moon energy. So the position of moon, whenever in the transit, moon will cross Rahu, Ketu or Saturn. That means approximately 7 days a month, some or the other negative event can be seen. So whenever you see that moon is in transit over Taurus, on Scorpio or on Capricorn, just ensure that that particular day goes in a positive way and you do not create any tension on that day. And you have to protect yourself and defend yourself. For that, you can pray to Lord Hanuman. On the other hand, Saturn has 7th aspect in the sign of Cancer. Again, moon is getting impacted because the house of the moon is also impacted by Saturn. Not only nakshatras, but also the house. So in this case, emotions will be all over the place. You might feel depressed, you might feel uncomfortable, but this is the time to get out of comfort zone. Because if Saturn retrograde motion is going towards this direction, so Saturn is going to drag this house to this particular house. So it will make you so uneasy that you would want to talk to a lot of people. You want to discuss your problem with so many people. It's best that you take advice of a professional person. You can consult an astrologer, you can consult a well-wisher and try to discuss and open up with the ideas. Retrograde Saturn does not want you to be restricted in a particular zone or in a particular school of thought. He wants you to come out of that and build and explore. So for you, the day Saturn moves into retrogression, the day of exploration begins. Test it, try to work towards it, and you will see that it is going to affect your home, the positive vibrations at home, the comfort at home in a totally different way. This also means that some of the property can be sold. If you are facing any kind of property related issue, it can be resolved because of the motion of Saturn. And the 10th aspect of Saturn will fall, but this is the exalted aspect. This is the retrograde yet exalted aspect towards the 7th house Libra. This shows that your hard work towards your marriage can actually save your marriage. So if you are giving up in the marital issues, in the marital difficulties, don't give up. If you're giving up in your business, don't give up, because this is the time when the results are not coming. So you can't really expect the positive or negative. So what you can expect? You can only do hard work and wait for the result after the retrogression ends. So if you're planning on to, if you're facing any kind of marital issues, this will be the time when you are actually taking a total responsibility. And in spite of all the hits you are getting, you just keep moving. I'm not saying that if this is extreme or if this is going out of hand, you have to still keep on moving. No, what I'm trying to say is that the energies are trying to help you make the best use of it. So for the Aries ascendant, Saturn transit in the 10th house is going to be highly karmic, and the motion of Saturn is toward the dharma. So you do your karma to establish dharma in your life. Taurus ascendant. In case of Taurus ascendant, if you see the position of Saturn, Saturn will be ninth from your ascendant. And also Saturn rules your ninth and 10th lord, so it is like Karma lord and the Dharma lord. When Saturn goes retrograde in the ninth house, the direction of motion will be towards 8th house. What does it mean? A trine lord getting retrograde, it's actually very good for you. Because when the destiny lord is getting retrograde, its amplification increases. But in Shastra, it is also written that a planet which is Krura, if its amplification increases, it becomes Ati Krur. And Saturn is classified as Krur planet, and this amplification is because of the retrogression. What it means is that your life is going to undergo some real hard battle, some real hardship. But this hardship is essential to change your destiny, because ninth house is the house of destiny, Bhagya, the Deve Kripa, and the blessings of the god. And Saturn going retrograde, being the 10th lord, and with Jupiter entering the house of Capricorn soon in few months, this is definitely going to be a time period when you take necessary efforts to change your destiny, to alter your destiny. This is the time when you face difficulties, when things don't really work for you, and you will give up on the hope of luck, and you will say, I don't need luck, I just need hard work. And that is the inclination of Saturn towards the 8th house of transformation, is what it indicates. Financially, it can be slightly difficult because Saturn's third aspect on the 11th house while retrograding towards the 8th house shows that the financial difficulty can force you to look forward to some FDs or the investment that you have made. So if that is happening, I will say that you need to spend less and you need to plan your finances in a very positive way. While you're planning your finances, don't plan to invest huge amounts of money right now, because whatever you invest in future, soon after like a 3 to 4 weeks of Saturn retrogression, the source of income can take a hit. Maybe due to any reason, the source of income can take a hit and you will be forced to break those savings, and the savings will reduce in this case. So what you should do, avoid any kind of travel, avoid any kind of negative, you can say negative spending. Overspending should be completely stopped. And because Saturn is in the 9th house, which is the house of religion and dharma, you should visit Saturn temple. You should pray to goddess Kali, Ma Kali, and that should help you come out from any difficult time. Remember, however negative it can be, it is a life-changing time for you. It is a time to change your destiny. If you don't make the best use of this, then this particular retrogression is not going to come again for another 30 years. Once in a lifetime chance for Taurus ascendant. Saturn's third aspect on the 11th house, actually, it's actually a kind of aspect where your expectations don't get completed the way you want to. Your expectations are not getting fulfilled and things are not moving the way you want to. That is why you want to change things. And in an attempt to change things, you will alter your destiny. You should make sure that you're altering destiny in a positive way. Avoid any kind of negative path and pessimistic thought. This is not the time to get depressed, but this is the time to pick up your power, pick yourself up and fight for the right. This is the war for the dharma. Dharma is not religion. Dharma is something that is right for everybody. When Saturn's aspect falls on the third house, it definitely shows that you should be very careful in what you commit and what you speak. Because third house is the house of expression. Third house is the house of courage, willpower, curiosity, your arm strength, and the power of labor. When Saturn retrogrades happens, it shows that you are working more than what is needed, but that is not going to continue for a lifetime. So just keep moving. You keep moving and your destiny will keep rolling. If you stop, then things will become negative for you. And Saturn's 10th aspect falls on the 6th house. Now definitely 6th house is prarabdha karma. And when retrograde Saturn's aspect falls on 6th house, the prarabdha that was deep hidden is now going to come out. So mostly you will see this in your career front, that the problems that you were escaping, the kind of subject that you are not addressing will now stare right in front of you into your own eyes, and you have to address that elephant in the room no matter what. So this is not an escape. By addressing that problem is how you can change your fate, how you can go to a positive direction. Also chanting Shani Mantra, Nilanjanam Samabhasam, Raviputram Yamagrajam, Chaya Martanda Sambhutam, Tam Namami Shanashram. Praying to Saturn in this case is going to be very beneficial for you because Saturn is in the house of Dharma. Overall, this is going to be a very, very positive transit for you. You have to keep control of your mind because Rahu will be on your ascendant, and lot of negative thoughts, lot of thoughts that is mysterious will start coming into your mind. Occult forces will increase for you, so you may pray to Ma Kali to absorb that occult forces and make it positive. It's not about the tantric force, that is dark force I'm talking about, but I'm talking about is some huge force, some supernatural power that will guide you in this time frame. What you should avoid is the difference between intuition and illusion has to be found. You have to avoid illusion, and the intuition should be addressed in a positive way. Now, for this, you have to do a lot of meditation, a lot of concentration, lot of you can say focusing towards yourself. That is a kind of an exercise that you have to do. On the other hand, if you see the motion of Rahu is retrograde, so Rahu's motion is towards the 12th house, while Saturn's motion is towards the 8th house. Neither of them actually moves out of their houses, but they are looking towards that house. So your life is going to make you address your losses and the fear. So all these things won't really come, but because you are expecting it to happen, because the threat is real and immediate, that is how you will feel, you will take the necessary course of action, and that is going to completely alter your path. Don't lose track in this time. If you need guidance, take guidance. If you can't understand, ask somebody. Try to seek guidance of a guru, but don't lose your track, because if you lose the track, Ketu's presence in the 7th house is going to be very difficult for you, especially if you are facing any kind of marital issue. For the business, I will say this is not a great time if you're doing any kind of business, especially the business related to Saturn or Ketu, or if your business is associated with anything that is 8th house related, because if you see 8th house is under Pap Kartari, you need to be careful in the business part, and you should not start any new venture unless it has been planned for a very long time. You can't just take it back, then it's fine. But if you're thinking about starting something now, be 100% sure that whatever you will do will give you the right result, because double retrogression on your ascendant and 9th house is good spiritually. It's good to take big challenges. It's good to take it's good to face the fear and fight for what you were hoping in life, what you were desiring. But it's not good to start a new business, to invest your money. Fighting and planning is okay, but really putting the ball into motion, you will have to do a lot of hard work for that. You will face a lot of legal challenges. You will face a lot of hurdles. Try to plan all those, and if you're facing hurdle, still keep moving, but don't give up. Either don't start or don't give up. For you, Taurus ascendant, this particular transit is so unique that I will say this is the transit of a millennium for you, because both Rahu and Saturn are actually called karmic planets. And when these karmic planets affect your ascendant and 9th house, you are the master of your destiny. Gemini ascendant. For Gemini ascendant, the position of Saturn will be in your 8th house. Especially if you are Gemini moon sign, then you will see the Ashtam Dhaya. Now when Saturn is in the 8th house and it is retrograde, definitely it is going to pick all the fears, all the negative things that is deep hidden inside you, and it will start bringing that out right in front of you. And your task will be to control them, to fight them, to resist them, and if possible, throw the negativity out of you. Cleansing your aura, cleansing your soul becomes the greatest task when Saturn becomes retrograde in the 8th house. Because 8th house is the house of secrets, and retrograde Saturn starts spilling out the secret outside. And this means that you will also see some secrets related to you or people related to you coming right in front of you, which may be positive, which may be negative. That depends upon your own chart. But the retrogression of Saturn in the 8th house, it's definitely good if you are facing any kind of issues related to property. If some insurance is stuck, it's good if you are if you're some kind of tax is pending and you want to get it back and it's stuck somewhere, it's good that if the money is stuck with public and you want to get that money back, on all those areas, somewhere the retrograde Saturn will make you work towards it and you will get it. See, Saturn will never give you anything as a gift. If I say Saturn is going to give you, that means you will work towards it so hard that as a result of your hard work, Saturn will present you the karma phal, or the result of your karma, in that particular form. Now definitely Saturn in the 8th house will make the 7th house undergo pap kartari by the force of Saturn and Ketu, Ketu being in the 6th house and Saturn being in the 8th house. Now this can create issues in marriage, especially your relationship with your in-laws. And if you are having a business with your in-laws, and if you're thinking about doing a business in your in-laws, you have to be careful. Also, handling public money will become a problem. So if you are the one who handles public money, if you are into that, be careful. There can be some mistake and you can be put into a dispute. You can face a dispute because of this. See the flow of energy. If I say that Saturn is a person pushing the wall and Ketu is another person pushing or pulling the wall, see, Ketu is naturally retrograde, so the motion of Ketu will be towards, you can say, anti-clockwise. Now, Saturn motion is towards 7th house, Ketu's motion is towards 5th house, but both of them are not changing houses. So what is actually happening? Saturn is trying to push the energy towards the 7th house, and Ketu is trying to pull the energy towards the 6th house. So ultimately, the 8th house, chronic things will become disease. So you have to take care of your health. You have to take care of health of your business, health of your marriage, and health of your body. Because in anything that is chronic and that is deeply hidden will now come out and will become a prominent disease. Nothing bad, it won't harm you, but you will be forced to address it. If you don't address it, then it can become a big issue and it can create a lot of losses. Not only monetary losses, but also loss of fame, respect, authority. Why? Because Saturn's third aspect is towards the 10th house, and the 10th lord, which is right now in the 9th house, which is 12th from the 10th house, loss of 10th house, will actually move and join Saturn. So in this case, career transformation will definitely come. But for those people who are facing a lot of issues in their career, they might be forced to change the job or leave the job. So plan your finances accordingly. You might need help of somebody. So dial up wherever you can, who can refer you, who can help you in your business, who can help you in your career. Take all sorts of necessary help. And then once you get that help, once you achieve the success, once you solve your problem, pass on the help to somebody in need in your life. Transfer of service is what is the focus of Saturn, because Saturn's focus is actually towards 6th house. The push of energy is collected in the 6th house. And when it is collected in the 6th house, definitely you have to understand that 6th house is prarabdha and 6th house is karma, and Ketu is cutting the cord. So definitely disputes will happen, and that will cut some relationships away from your life, and you have to accept that. Once you accept it, you will see that your destiny starts changing. Why? Because Saturn's 10th aspect falls on the 5th house, and 5th house is what? Purva Punya. It is the positive house, the house of expression. So suddenly your expression will become suddenly matured, and you will become very vocal about things, because Saturn will also aspect the 2nd house. But any kind of emotional outburst should be avoided. If you are in Mrigashira Nakshatra, that means your ascendant or moon is in Mrigashira Nakshatra, then you have to be very, very careful about the kind of attitude that you portray, because the uneasiness of the mind accompanied by the 8th house Saturn energy, because if your moon is here, your moon can't see Saturn, the kind of commitment that you will make and the kind of promises that you will make will be unrealistic. So in that case, you have to be extremely careful, because that can tarnish your relationship with other people, with the surrounding, with the bosses, in the corporates, and it will take some time for them to recover. So that is something that you should be very, very careful. Overall, this Saturn transit is going to be highly transformative for you, but somewhat challenging also. But if you accept the challenge, if you fight for this challenge, you will see that the retrogression of Saturn is actually pulling out the positive cards. Because of what will happen? Suppose there is a disease in your body, you are ignoring it, but now the disease is glaring. It has become a big issue. Now you go to the doctor, you take medicine, and you are fit and fine. Few days of suffering, but now that disease which was resting in your own body, which could have become an issue, a bigger issue, might have killed you, is now cured. This position of Saturn doesn't mean that you are going to suffer forever. This means that any kind of suffering that could have become deadly will actually come out, and it will depend upon your karma, how quickly you treat it, and with what efficiency you address and cure the problem. Overall, this is going to be a very positive transit. Overall, that means not early in the initial days you will feel that this is going to grind you completely, but towards the end of Saturn retrogression, towards the end of this year, you will see the true colors, the true results, because after the hard work, the rewards that you will get is unbelievable. You cannot anticipate that reward. So just focus on hard work and pray Om Sham Shanashwaraya Namah 108 times a day, and you will see that you will be able to communicate with yourself in a very different way. Cancer ascendant. Now, in case of Cancer ascendant, if you see the position of Saturn, Saturn goes into the 7th house. When in the 7th house, Saturn is retrograding, this means that the difficulty in marriage will increase. If you're already facing some difficult marriage, it might increase. If you are not married, or if you're not facing any difficulty, you just need to be careful with whom you deal, with the kind of business that you do, any kind of ideas that comes in your mind, and any kind of emotions that you go through. 7th house is the surrounding. 7th house is anything that is not you. It's like a whole set, A and not A. So it's like anything that is not you. It is something that is opposite to your nature, but something that complements you also. So in that case, you will see that the people who complement you are going away. Your friends are becoming your enemies. Whom you trusted and cannot be trusted anymore. What you should do at this point of time? You should thank Saturn to bring out those people out in the open, and now you know who is your true friend and who is your true enemy. It might be emotionally difficult, but practically if you see, you now know whom you can really depend. It's like a true karma, where a friend in need and a friend in deed will be clearly visible. 6th house also goes into Pap Kartari, but this also shows that you are also protected in a way, because if the Pap Kartari blocks the Prarabdha, it means on one hand you are forced to take action to clear off your Prarabdha. On the other hand, Prarabdha cannot destroy you. So this is a controlled set of action. I will say it's a surgical strike on your negative karma. This is a brilliant transit, because it directly aspects your ascendant. It drags you, it pulls you towards all the negative things that you have within you. Because if it is dragging the 7th house towards 6th house, it is also dragging the Lagna towards the 12th house. This is the sheer pressure, the sheer torque of Saturn will be so huge that you will be forced to think a lot. You will be forced to think about your losses. You will be forced to replan all your activity, come to the drawing board and think, because now the friends, the people whom you relied, whom you thought will help you, are no longer helping you. And among all the negativity that is happening, there will be one person who will go all out to help you. This is the power of retrogression. Amplification. On one hand, it is trying to clear off the things. On the other hand, it is also giving you a helping hand. It is also trying to pull you out with a greater force. That's the power of Saturn. Saturn rules your 8th house. So definitely 8th lord goes into the 7th house, which means the involvement of the in-laws can create some tension, but not much. But you have to be careful. You have to respect them. You have to respect everybody, because this is the time when you will have to talk or face the people whom you always avoided. Maybe you thought that you will never face them in your life, but now they are right in front of you. Possibly one of them will help you. This not only breaks your ego, makes you humble, but also makes you realize that karma has the bigger say. No matter how much you plan your life, it's the karma that is going to decide. So you need to clear your prarabdha and focus more towards serving other people, helping other people. The more you help, the more help you will get. So try to be into community service, try to be into social service, try to help your neighbor, anybody whom you know, irrespective of you not liking the person. If you can help him in any positive way, you will make one good friend out of an enemy. This is a very, very unique transit for you. And not only that, if you see, the third aspect of the Saturn is in the ninth house, which means Saturn is watching if you're following your dharma. Saturn's aspect is on the first house. That means Saturn is actually watching you, how you deal your physical self, how you treat this body. And Saturn is also watching the fourth house. That means how you treat the home in which you live, how you treat the country in which you live, how you treat the people who live with you. So in all of this scenario, Saturn is closely addressing parameters that is personal to you. What you believe, how you live, how you treat. If you take care of these three parameters in a positive way, and if you align your task, if you align your life into following the right track, you will see that the retrograde Saturn might actually bring wonders to you. It can actually open a gateway to heaven for you. But obviously, the gate to heaven is so heavy, not a normal person can open. You need to have that kind of karmic strength to draw power from that. I hope you will be able to make it. You will be able to do it, because it will be emotionally difficult for you. You are a moon ruled ascendant. It will be very difficult for you. But overall, I do see that you are going to make it. I trust that you are going to make it, because the fourth house is going to help you. Remember what your mother taught you. Remember what your motherland has taught you. Remember what goddesses teach you. Remember what your own Shakti teaches you. Remember what your soul teaches you. Leo ascendant. In case of Leo ascendant, if you see, the position of Saturn is 6th. Now, what is so special about this? Leo is the king. Leo is ruled by Sun. Sun is the father of Saturn. And if Sun is the father of Saturn and Saturn sits in the 6th house, that means this is the time when the king must learn how to serve. King might be a big king. King might have a lot of power. King might have a lot of strength. That means you might be anybody. But if you don't know how to pay back to society, the retrograde Saturn is going to drag your business. That is going to drag any kind of faith of public on you to disputes. This is the time when you should avoid anything that can create controversy. This is the time when you should avoid anything that can create unnecessary disputes and resort to resolution of disputes that are already there with great importance. 6th house also can bring legal cases, litigations, unnecessary obligations on you, and you might be forced to fulfill that. So you have to be careful on that front. And possibly, if you are into that kind of field, if you are into business, a legal advice is going to be handy in this case. Saturn's third aspect falls on the 8th house. Now, both the 6th and the 8th house are related to age and disease, and they complement each other also. So when Saturn goes into the 6th house and it is retrograde, any disease that is inside you will come out, and your true character will also come out. Remember, this Saturn will frustrate you so much that your true flavor, your true behavior, your true image will come in public. So just make sure that the true image is actually positive, so that even if it comes out, you come out clean. Deep inside, you should be optimistic. You should be the light, not the darkness. So for you, seek the light seems to be the appropriate quote, which is my favorite quote. Because when Saturn aspects the 8th house with third aspect of Saturn is the aspect of struggle, and the 8th house is something that is totally uncertain. So this is like the chaos is happening in a way when you're trying to hold it with both of your hands, and things are just slipping out. Things are just moving out of your hand. Is it difficult? It can be. It can be if your actual karma is bad. but treat it like a test. This is like a test for you, examination. If you can pass this examination, you will be given a clearance from a whole chunk of prarabdha karma. Because when so many prarabdha karma comes out and you address them all at once, it's like paying the loan or a big chunk of bank loan at one go. What will happen next? The burden of the shoulder will come down. Also, the load of EMI will be reduced drastically. You will be left with lot more than what you are having right now. Or you will be facing court issues, court battles, because Saturn is going to aspect the 12th house. You will face isolation. You will face karma where you will be facing the prarabdha, that means what you are destined to face. So in that case, definitely the ego will crush down, the ahankar will come down. And the Saturn's 10th aspect on the 3rd house definitely shows that you are trying desperate. The hard work will come into picture. Obviously not a good time to invest, because Saturn's 3rd aspect on the 8th house shows that wherever you invest your money can actually go bad. So just deal with what you have invested right now. Focus on your taxes, focus on your reforms that you can bring in your life, and prevent your loss. Pay back your loans. This is a very good time to pay back all your loans. All you have to do is just plan it out and take the first step, take the baby step. From the marriage perspective, this can be slightly difficult time, because 7th lord is going into the 6th house. So this can be slightly difficult time for marriage. Try to avoid any kind of dispute in that. You have to take care of your health. And if you are taking total control of your life for the next 4 to 5 months, after Saturn becomes direct, everything will seem to be happy and everything will seem to be so relaxed. You know, it's like a massage. When somebody is massaging you, somebody is trying to press you so hard. Maybe at times you are not feeling good, but once the massage is over, you almost sleep. Why? Because of the relaxation it produces. So try to take this, a pain which results into relaxation, a pain or a suffering which results into clearance of karma. What you should do is you should help a lot of people. 6th house is the house of service. Feed animals, stray dogs, crows. You should give anything to crow, something that they can eat, grains, chapati, anything. Help homeless people, help poor people who are struggling for their survival. And 6th house also means that you need to listen to the problems of people. Shravana, listen. So you ensure that you become a good listener rather than a great speaker. For some time, try to absorb the positivity from the surroundings and just listen to nature. 6th house is the house of prarabdha, and this is one of the upachaya houses also. It is also responsible for change of career, change of role. And with retrograde Saturn, you can be put back to the previous role, you can go back to the previous organization, you can be demoted, or you can be given extra responsibility. But in either of the case, if you're given an extra responsibility and because of that you're promoted next year, it's good for you. But if your karma was bad, you may be demoted for some reason. You need to find out the reason of event, not look at the event directly, but look out how much you can gain out of that event. Even if it is a negative event, what did you gain out of it? That's how you should work in this particular transit. This particular transit is definitely a grinding one, but the output of this transit will be excellent for you, because the load on the shoulder is going to go away. Fulfill your responsibilities and then you will be free from unnecessary burden. This transit is going to be an energy releasing transit, a therapeutic transit for all Leo ascendant and Leo moon sign. The next ascendant is Virgo ascendant. Now definitely if you see, the day the Saturn becomes retrograde, moon is in Virgo. And for you, Virgo ascendant, Saturn will be in the 5th house. So definitely this means that you need to learn something. Retrogression means you have to go back to what you have learned, or maybe you need to relearn, unlearn, and relearn something in your life. It's good if you're in corporate, or if you're anything, if you're associated with education, business, or if you're associated with any line of academics, because Jupiter will also soon join the fifth house Saturn. But this is not restricted to any upgradation of information that will help in your career. That is obviously a part of this. But this is about general learning of life. Fifth house means your children, or anything that you treat like a child. Any organization that you have built up, or any book that you have written, any kind of object that you have bought and you just treat it so good. It's like a general expression of anything that you treat like a child. So in that case, you might face difficulty related to that area of life. And the difficulty is coming, or the resistance is coming from that angle. So for example, your child is resisting you, or the child is, you are unable to control or define your relationship with your child, or you are unable to treat him in a positive way, understand him in a positive way. You need to learn something. That means the time has come where you now unlearn what you have learned and maybe upgrade yourself, expand your horizon. This is not the time, because Saturn is usually a conservative planet. When it becomes retro, it goes back. Either it breaks the conservative nature, or it becomes far more conservative. Which one you want to become is something that you have to decide. You have to think the bigger picture. Because if you don't think that, fifth house is also called as gain of marriage. Not only it will create issues with your children, but it will also create issues in your marriage. Learn, accept, become humble, become grounded, and you will see no problem is there. It's only going to change you. It's only going to change your personality. It's only going to change the way you expect things in life. It is only going to change the way you learn from the social structure, the way you learn from the surrounding, the way you learn from your own life. Stomach issues can be a problem in this time frame, so be careful on that part. Try to be vegan and try to eat less. Try to go on a diet and do fasting on every Saturday. Now, because the 4th house is under Pap Kartari and the 11th house is aspected by Saturn, this means that uneasiness will be a part of this transit. If you are in Saturn Mahadasha, if you are in Saturn Antardasha, if you are in Sadhisati, and you are a Virgo ascendant person, then definitely this will be a difficult time dealing with your own expectations. This is going to be a difficult time trying to meet up to the own standard that you have set for yourself. And that is why you have to unlearn, because maybe that was the ceiling that you can hit with what you know right now. To go any further, hard work is needed. To go any further, a restart is needed. Maybe the circle, life has come to a full circle, and this is the time to restart. You can't spiral out, you can't spiral down, but you have to be on the same path, and which means become a kid. A kid is a curious person. He always wants to learn. When Saturn is retrograde, it means your knack of learning will increase. Either you learn by your own will, or your karma will make you learn. Learn through the hardship, or accept the Saturn's power, accept and bow down to Saturn's humbleness and learn from life. Try to jot down all the major event that has happened with you in the past 3 to 4 years. Try to analyze your personality and see how you could have dealt it in a better way. This is a kind of an exercise that you should continue for like 3-4 months. And at the end of this transit, at the end of the retrogression, you will see that the amount of analysis done by you for yourself has actually completely changed the bucket list of your life. It will completely change the way you expect or approach your happiness. Because this retrograde Saturn says, happiness is within. This Saturn also aspects the second house with the 10th aspect, so it shows your karma will be associated towards your own family. So you will be made to do a lot of things for a lot towards your family. So you have to take the responsibility or the load of your family, but you do it happily because it's your family. And this is also your prarabdha. You may like it, you may not like it, but these things are going to happen. So you may have to take a responsibility of a person whom you thought you will never take the responsibility. And now you are supposed to do it as the word of God. Overall, Saturn actually rules your 5th and the 6th house. It rules the past life karma and the prarabdha karma and the purva punya. This is a mix of karma from the past life. So when it is retrograding in the 5th house, it will also churn out the good things of the past life. So if you have a positive Saturn in this time frame, expect a sudden boost in productivity. If you have a bad Saturn, then sudden wall will hit. You will hit a sudden wall and the productivity come to a full stop. You go slow. Don't rush. Saturn is not the planet who will rush. Saturn is a planet who wants to go slow. So tread carefully, go slowly, and you will find that while you are learning and you are executing, it's like learning and then executing on the job, or learning on the job kind of thing. You will see that this particular transit will expose you to a completely different dimension of career, completely different dimension of life. While you listen to the things that life has taught you, you will never face those things again. Trust me, the decisions that you will make from November onwards, this year only, is going to be very different than what you would have thought today. Write down your experience, cross-verify in November, you will understand what I'm trying to say. Overall, for Virgo, this is going to be a very, very educative transformation, a very educative transit, and try to learn maximum out of it. Libra ascendant. In case of Libra ascendant, Saturn is in your 4th house. Fourth lord in the 4th house, whereas Libra is the house where Saturn gets exalted. It's very, very positive transit for you. If you see, Saturn is aspecting your 6th house, Saturn is aspecting your 10th house, and Saturn is aspecting your ascendant. What is so special about this? Out of all the houses that Saturn aspects, 2 are called Upachaya houses and 1 is you. So definitely this particular transit is good for financial growth. Any kind of, if you're really stuck in your life, Saturn will make you so uncomfortable. The force will be so strong that you would want to pull out by the problems of your life with your bare hand, and you would want to come out of it. And you would want to take all possible solutions. You would want to take all possible measures to come out from the frustration and to come out from the dirt that you are in. Both 6th house and the 10th house are houses associated with career. And we know that we are in a work from home situation. So Saturn actually boosts that. Saturn will actually give you the opportunity to actually work in a much better environment, in a much better way, provided you are ready to give up your comfort. So definitely situation at home front can become a bit difficult in a way that it is actually difficult for you to work both in the home, manage the home front as well as the work front. But that difficulty is going to give you innovative solution. That difficulty will be a test for you. Can you pass that? Because if you can pass that, ultimately Saturn's exalted aspect on the ascendant is only going to elevate your life. But you will feel restricted because Pap Kartari of the 3rd house. You will feel restricted and you will feel that you cannot move, you cannot flex your arms freely, and this might give you a sense of frustration. This might give you a sense of helplessness. You should take care health of your younger siblings, your mother, anyone old in your home. It's not like that something will happen, but you need to be, or you will be worried because of their health. Your concern will be towards their health, and it's also that your concern will be towards how will you manage your career. It might also frustrate you to change. the home in which you are, the environment in which you are. It might frustrate you that this is not the kind of comfort you actually expected from life, and you would want to move out and you would want to achieve more. It's not actually bad to achieve more, but you need to see all possibilities, because to become exalted, to achieve balance of life, you have to focus on the personal life and the professional life. And Saturn is going to tip off this balance just to remind you that you may be caught off guard. You may be too complacent. So things will definitely happen that will put you out of the comfort zone, but that is where the success is. That is, success is never found in the comfort zone. Also, the position of Rahu in the 8th house can create disputes among family members on the matters of properties, on the matters of any kind of home, land, agricultural land. So those things can also come into equation. You have to be extremely patient. You have to take help from people who know about the subject, and you have to take help from the people who are learned enough to give you proper suggestions. Don't take suggestions from everybody. Think what you can do, because ultimately when you are uncomfortable, you are looking back to your own strength. You need to increase your own strength. You need to increase. Nobody will help you. It's all that you have to do by your own bare hands. So this time you will feel that you are left alone. You will feel isolated. You will feel that life is trying to corner you. But this is the time when the life will make the best out of you. It will create, it will craft. You are being chiseled, you are being hammered. But only then a proper sculpture can be crafted out of a irregular, unshaped, randomly shaped rock. If you love that rock so much, forget the masterpiece. And if you want to become the masterpiece, take the beating of Saturn, get up, rise and work hard. This is the time for hard work. This is the transit of hard work for you. This is the transit of being in Libra, being in balance, being in a position where Saturn finds its best expression. And if Saturn is planning something for you, definitely it can't be your destruction. Take whatever happens, consider it as the will of God, and fight for what is right. This is the time when you listen to the chaos, to the sounds that are uncomfortable in your home and work environment, and try to address those problems. Because Saturn's third aspect is towards addressing the problems first at home and then at career. What will happen after 4-5 months? Most of the problems will be addressed. Difficult time? Yes. Difficult time in the future? Absolutely no. Now it totally depends on how you handle it, how you tackle it. And to tackle it, you need to learn something, and that is why Jupiter is in the 5th house, to give you that proper learning. You are being guided. But if you feel sad, if you let go of things, if you drop your weapons, then this Saturn transit will make you extremely uncomfortable. This is the transit to achieve balance through hit and trial, through repeated efforts, through continuous discipline. And the best way to handle this is by maintaining utmost discipline in your life and reserving your thought for yourself. Slightly being conservative. Not a good time to buy a property or a car. Good time to sell a property or a car. It's kind of okay for marriage, but this is where you will plan and you will see how your marriage is going ahead. What is the future of your marriage? What is the future of your business? So you'll be more anticipating the future rather than facing a big problem right now, but the anticipation will be way more, and that itself can become one of the most deciding factor of your life. But overall, I will say this is the transit where you are planted. You may feel dark, you may feel inside the earth, you may feel buried. But remember, plant cannot grow unless the seed is buried. So a seed of success will be planted. It might break you apart, it might tear you apart, but in future, you will see that this is what is making you who you will be. The next ascendant is Scorpio ascendant. Now, in case of Scorpio ascendant, Saturn is in the third house. So, the third house Saturn will try to question you on your abilities. And so you will be asking the same question from yourself, and the doubt and the confusion will come into picture. This retrograde Saturn on the third house will make you work way more than you planned, will try to delay the event, will try to delay the efforts and the results of the efforts, and this may frustrate you. But you should not stop your efforts. The retrogression only means focus on your resources and replan and come back with a better approach. So maybe for the time being, you will stop, but it's not actually the stopping, but you're actually replanning it. So the planning has to be reviewed multiple times while the Saturn is retrograde in every single sphere of your life. Wherever you plan, everything is a task. So whatever you do, wherever you go, whatever you plan, review is very much needed. Your responsibility towards your younger brother and your family member will increase, because there can be some issue in the family which will ask for your unwavering support and will ask your presence without thinking that what will happen to you. So it's like a kind of a selfless act that you have to do, and that is what you should do. That will teach you so much about life. Through your own action, you will learn the importance of relatives, the importance of people who love you, the importance of not being isolated in life, and the importance of dharma. Because Saturn also directly aspects the ninth house. Be careful about any kind of travel. You have to be safe. You have to be secured in this time frame. Be very, very careful about what you commit, what you say, what you preach. Ketu on the first house is already going to go in the Anuradha Nakshatra. I will make another video for that, which is again a Saturn's Nakshatra. So definitely your belief system on people will go away. Either you will try to prove that I can do it, I am capable of doing it, and in order to prove that, you will commit mistakes, you will fall flat, or you will be asked to prove, and in that case you will show your true strength. The power of the iron, or the power of the metal, can only be observed when another metal strikes it. Similarly, your power will be displayed when the problem that you're fighting increases. Expect that. Expect losses that you will be struggling to prevent. Expect the kind of donation that is unwanted. But in all such cases, if you remain humble, if you're giving selflessly, if you're giving, this is what brings balance in your life. This is what gives you the happiness. This is what creates new relationships. This is what makes you and your mother proud. And this is what brings dharma. Overall, this seems like to be a transit where a sculptor is breaking his creation, his craft, because he has found a brilliant idea. Now, definitely, this half-cooked idol, say of a man, cannot be presented because he has a much better idea. So what he will do? He will start from scratch. Again, he will start everything, but this time with a better idea. So that might happen with you also. Prevention of money, financial crunch, and struggle to survive will make you much more stronger. And this is the test that you have to pass. This is the test on all of us, especially if you are a Scorpio ascendant. But this will make your arms stronger. It's only the pain of the gym that will create the bicep. It's only the pain of the life that will make you a strong person. This is going to be a transit of test. Pass your test wisely. Sagittarius ascendant. In case of Sagittarius ascendant, Saturn will be in the second house. Dispute in the family, or trying to solve the dispute in the family, is going to be one of the primary focus in this case. Because second house is not only the Kutumbha Bhav, but it is also the Dhan Bhav. Financially, you will have to replan everything. Your needs will be fulfilled, definitely, because it is Saturn's own house. But because its retrogression is towards your first house, you need to see how much resources you spend on yourself. And maybe you need to cut that down. Saturn is conservative planet. You need to eat your words, chew it, and then speak after filtering, because the words will matter in this case. But for you, because your ascendant lord is Jupiter, and Jupiter is actually in a Saturnian house, Saturn is also kind of guided by the power of Jupiter. It's a transit of wisdom. But it's a transit where you should commit after thinking a lot. Saturn on the second house aspects the fourth house, so you might feel highly uncomfortable being in the home, or you would just want to redesign everything. So it's a good time to have a Vastu expert come and reshape your home. It is a good time to rediscover something in your home, a new angle, a new position of bed. Or it's a good time to work or plan towards buying a home in future, buying a car in future, building a property, an asset. But don't spend your wealth on this, because a huge chunk of your bank balance will go into any kind of maybe deposit or buying a property. Do it if it is worthy enough. If it's a luxury, avoid. If it's a necessity, good. Good time to save money. But this money will be with you, but will also not be with you. Say it is invested for 20 years, or it is invested in a place where you can't pull that money out for 5 years. So it might give a huge dent in your bank balance. The liquidity will come down, but the assets will increase. Take great care of your assets as well as your taxation, because money can be lost because of your misfiling of the assets or any kind of issues related to insurance or taxation. Also, it shows that you need to speak up about the things which are unsaid, which are difficult to talk. But now you have to address those issues in your family, in your home. But this transit is going to impact 4th and the 11th house the most. And in this case, it is being in the second house, Saturn is actually controlling all the finances. So expect a sudden rise or a sudden fall of your finances. So in this case, don't hope for anything, but rather work and analyze what you're doing, especially those who are in speculative business, those who are in business related to public money, public efforts. You need to be very, very careful about all of the steps that you take for your financial growth. Not a good time to quit your job, not a good time to start a new business out of the blue, not a good time to invest your money when you don't know the future plan of that investment, when you have not ascertained all the negativity that can come in future. It's not like it will come, but the planning has to be done. Saturn wants that planning. Saturn wants the attitude where you can speak up that yes, I'm prepared, because a retrograde Saturn in the second house can create lack of resources. So whatever you have at hand, try to manage the best out of it. And because there's a lack of resource, it will make you work harder to build that resource. And in order to build that resource, you need money. So this can ultimately act into a wealth increasing transit. Chant Mahalakshmi mantra, Shri Sukta. Don't be lazy. Get up early before sunrise and eat good food. Eat alkaline food. Drink plenty of water and chant Harinam, Jai Shri Ram, Shri Krishnam Sharanam Mama. If you chant these positive mantras, you will see that the vibration of Saturn is becoming very positive, because it is the second house. Second house is throat, second house is mouth, second house is eyesight, the kind of pathway that you take in life, the kind of commitment that you do, the kind of food that you eat. It's not only the wealth of money or material things, it's also the wealth of your body. When it is retrograde, you need to focus on your body. Otherwise, your body is going to send you some reminders, and that reminders won't be friendly reminders. So overall, if you can manage through yoga, pranayam, you will see that overall this transit is going to be extremely happy, extremely beneficial transit. Especially if you're married, this transit will prove to be life-changing for your spouse because of you. So you might give some advice to your spouse that might change her or his attitude towards you, attitude towards life. So you can come out to be a constructive partner, or otherwise this Saturn can become a destructive partner. And because Saturn is retrograde in Shravan, speak less, listen more. Because the more you listen, the more you will get out of this transit. So this transit is going to be, I will say, a resource or asset building transit for you. The next ascendant is Capricorn ascendant. Now obviously, Capricorn is the house or Rashi where Saturn is going retrograde. So it's going retrograde on your ascendant. What it shows is that when Saturn pulls back its position and wants to go back on your ascendant, it means that it wants you to focus on your past. It's want you to think of all the negative events that you did, and it wants you to listen to the events that happened before in the past, and you have to register all the negatives and all the positives and find out where you stand. It is like it wants you to reassess about yourself, judge yourself, become a lawyer to yourself. You become the judge and you become a lawyer and fight a case in your own court about yourself. See who wins. See what percentage of you think you are doing good, what percentage of you is actually not up to the mark. This is the time when you find out your strength and weakness and work on your weakness while strengthening your core areas. This can increase lethargy. You may feel uneasiness in your body because ascendant is your actual physical body. So this particular transit is going to produce a dynamic effect on your entire horoscope. And if you are a Capricorn moon sign, then definitely you are at the peak of Sadasati, and this is going to impact your mind in a way different, in a totally different way. And this is going to create a situation where you don't know what to do. This creates a sense of confusion. When Saturn goes retrograde on ascendant, it tries to take away the control of your life, and you will feel helpless, and you will be like, I don't know what is happening in my life. Anything, almost every area of your life seems to be disconnected. So what Saturn wants to do? Saturn wants you to work hard. Saturn wants you to reassess your resources. Saturn wants you to learn about yourself from your own mistakes. So if you want this transit to work for you, you need to learn from your own mistakes. That is the best that you can do. While Saturn's 7th aspect falls on the 7th house, definitely your inappropriate behavior, your absent-mindedness, or your impatient nature can impact your marriage and your emotional structure in the marriage. Whereas Saturn's 10th aspect on the 10th house, which is the sign of Libra, in reality, Saturn wants to create a balance of karma. It wants to maintain the status quo. It doesn't want to topple the power. It wants to maintain a proper balance of power. So you will see that there are certain areas of your life which are getting boost, whereas certain areas of life which are getting a random hits. That means the areas which are slightly lower than the threshold will be pulled up, and the areas which are way above the threshold will be slightly brought down. So the energy redistribution will happen in your life. That is why you will feel that your life is not at all in your control. Some things are happening, some things are not happening, some things are going as per plan, few things are going without any plan. It may seem random and chaotic, but it's all planned and structured. Saturn is not a planet that will bring chaos. Saturn reduces the chaos. Chaos dies down in the zone of Saturn, freezes. This will also freeze your mind towards negativity, towards toxic events, towards sadness, towards depression. It's your task to pull yourself out of it. How? Because you are being made to focus on the sad part of your life so that you can understand what made it in the first place. You don't need to see the event. You need to see the cause behind the event, the outcome of the event. Forget about the event. The past is past, it is gone. It will never come back. But that past actually shaped up your present. And this present is actually quickly becoming your past. If you don't realize this, you will see that the Shani, which is Kala, which is time, is actually crumbling you down. So chanting the Kal Bhairav Ashtakam is going to be very fruitful in this time frame. Visiting Kal Bhairav temple is also going to be something that will give you blessing, a power to fight, a power to struggle. But don't feel helpless in this time frame. It's like you're not being just to yourself. You're not being positive. This body is a temple and you are a soul which is inside this body, and that is what the realization of Saturn will give you. If you will understand, if you will not, and who will not will say this was a bad time. Who will understand will say thank you, Saturn. It's like a movie where things are going in the flashback. But if you learn from that flashback, nothing better than that. Your life is going to be your teacher. Don't believe on anything. This is the time to become seeker. Find God. He will give you the answer. Ascendant number 11, Aquarius ascendant. This is also ruled by Saturn. But for you, Jupiter is on your ascendant, so you can think that most of the negative events of the Saturn transit is being prevented. Yes, it is. But soon Jupiter will join Saturn, because Saturn is in the 12th house. And when it is retrograding, it is actually retrograding in the 11th house. So this is the time when you need to judge your life through pros and cons, through profit and loss, through the battles that you won and the battles that you have lost. You need to see the things through a mirror of what you can gain out of it, not in the matters of money or greed. No. Even through the lens of karma. What karma can you gain? What karma you cannot? Are you gaining positive karma or negative karma? Are you giving out karma or you are struggling to survive? This kind of management. So you need to do masters of life. Jupiter will help you. You have got the Guru on your first house. It will help you. Saturn retrogradation on the 12th house actually pulls you out from the losses and brings you towards the profit. But only if you do the karma. This is not a transit which is negative for you. But yes, because it is also called amplification. If your karma is wrong, it will amplify the losses just to teach you. Don't let Saturn teach you. Just ask Saturn. Pray to Saturn. Be humble. With gratitude, ask him to guide you. He is not there to kill you. You will feel isolated. You would want a company of friends. You will feel claustrophobic. But you need to make the best use of it. This is called Ekant Vas, or the residence residing in silence, so that you can hear your inner calling. It is your ascendant lord going into the 12th house. What is your ascendant lord doing at the farthest corner of the horoscope? What are you doing here? This is not good for people of Aquarius ascendant sitting in foreign land, because they may have to come back. But this is good for people who are searching for job, because that Saturn is going to give you a new job, a new opportunity. Do not be chooser in this case. You can't choose. What you're getting, just take it. Because right now, you cannot decide whether the rope is pink or blue if you're drowning in ocean. A rope is a rope for you. Hold it, get out of the water first, save yourself, and then become a chooser. Saturn's third aspect falls on the second house, so definitely you will have to think more about the losses of your finances. So financial planning has to be done. Extra expenses has to be avoided. Unnecessary expense will come, but you have to take care of that. What can be repaired should be repaired. What cannot should wait. So you have to go by the lens of what should and what should not, whether it is going to give me some profit in future or not. In that weighing from that angle, you need to weigh your events, weigh your karma. Also, Saturn's 7th aspect towards 6th house is good actually. This helps you donate. If you do a lot of donation, this will help you release the prarabdha karma, release the negative karma. 6th house is the duty and responsibility. 6th house is prarabdha. 6th house is also roles. So it may be that in your corporate, in your job, you are taken out from a role and you are given a different role. Don't cry on that. Don't feel sad about that, because this is something, a new start. Donate money to needy, donate food to poor. A part of your income should be given for welfare of society. Amount doesn't matter. Your intentions will matter. And Saturn's 10th aspect on the Dharma Bhav says that if you do pilgrimage, obviously once the corona thing settles down, if you do pilgrimage, especially to Dham of Shiva, and you just visit the vibration, and if you just absorb the phenomena that happens in such temples, such divine places, you will see that the life will come to a full circle and you will see a complete balance. This particular transit is going to put you into isolation, to break the isolation, to put you into a focus. Your focus will be put towards losses so that you can prevent your losses. And this is a dharma establishing transit for you, for all the ascendant. I will say the transit of Saturn in retrograde transit of Saturn in Capricorn is best for Aquarius, because it is going to establish dharma. Loss of loss is profit. Make the best use of it. The last ascendant is Pisces ascendant. For Pisces ascendant, Saturn is in the 11th house. When Saturn is churning the ocean of the 11th house, that means the ocean of expectation is being churned, reversed, twisted, and you are asked to wait. It's like you wanted food. You got 5 plates of rice and half a bowl of maybe curry. How will you eat 5 plates of rice with half bowl of curry? This is a disproportionate fulfillment of expectations. Ask wisely. Because your ascendant lord is also in the 12th house, which is going to go very close with Saturn. So this means that your expectations will not be fulfilled in the way you think, but it will itself become a teaching for you. So your Saturn will teach you from your own expectation, from your own thoughts, from your own network circle, from your own association. You will lose few friends, you will gain some. It can be slightly difficult for people who are in job. It can be resulting in job loss, but absolutely not for a lot of people, but for a certain amount of people. So you need to be very careful about your source of income. Be humble, be gratitude, don't fight. Not the good time to change your job, because this Saturn has a push towards the 10th house. It's pushing the energy towards the 10th house. So it's saying, have you done enough karma? So it's a karmic focus transit. It's not about the result of the karma. It's about, why should I give you that result? Have you done that karma? You are asking for something. What karma did you do for that? That's why Saturn, being in the 11th house, which is called as karma phal house, the house where the gains comes from, it is focused towards the 10th house, which is the house of karma. So it's saying, what karma did you do that you're asking me this? Weigh your expectations wisely. Saturn's 3rd aspect will be on you. It is going to watch you very closely. What you're asking, what you're expecting, what you're demanding, whom you are meeting, what you're talking, what you're sharing, what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're breathing, everything, every single event of your life is being watched by Saturn, and a friend can make your life hell. One of your associate, one of your friend can actually become a problem in your life. Does not mean that everybody of Pisces ascendant will face the same thing. But if you're facing anything close to this, raise your red flags. Work accordingly. It's not like somebody's an enemy. The reason can be anything. You need to protect yourself. And Saturn's 7th aspect falls on the 5th house. So definitely your concern towards your own productivity of life will be high. Questions will be raised. Why should I pay you this much amount of money? Prove yourself. So you need to prove your worth wherever you are. You need to be a better parent. You need to learn the art of parenting, because 5th house is the house of children, and children are going to ask questions to you. Because a retrograde Saturn on the 11th house aspects the 5th house, you need to chant mantras. Try to complete 50,000 times. Yes, a random 50,000 number. Chant the mantra Suryaputro Dirgdeho Vishalakshah Shivapriya Bandchara Prasannatma Pidam Haratu Me Shanihi. This mantra you should chant 50,000 times in the next 5-6 months. See if you can do this. Because if you do, the power of the mantra chanting will give power and strength to the moon, and therefore will correct the way you ask things. And we're asking things to the God out of this Shani. Ask, please guide my expectations. And the Saturn's 10th aspect on the 8th house definitely shows that there is definitely going to be a change of source of income. You need to ensure that it is a positive source of change, not that you are thrown out of the company, you're thrown out of the business, your business goes down the gutter. It should not be this negative. You need to hold on. 10th house is also the first karma that you're supposed to do. For example, if you get a plate of food in front of you when you're hungry, what is your first karma? To eat the food? The first karma is to thank the God that you got the food in the first place. Remember, the food is not for you. The food is for your body. Your body is the Anna Sharir, and the Anna is making the body. The rice which is in your plate will soon become you. It's like a petrol to the car. But you are not the car, you are the driver of the car. That kind of dissociation and association should come in this time frame, and that is what will happen. Whoever understands, it's fine. If you don't understand, then you will feel that things are not moving the way it should move. Or suddenly one of the you did very little and you are getting a lot of things. Remember, at this time frame, if you get anything in excess, soon it will be taken away from you. So if you are winning a lottery, be careful about the money where you put to use. That means that is being given to you for some future task. Don't waste anything that comes in excess. I'm talking about from the monetary side. Health perspective, you need to be slightly careful. And overall, this is going to be a very positive transit for you. This is going to bring reforms in your life, and that reforms will shape the future for you. With Rahu in the 3rd house, definitely you need to be very careful about what you say in the social media. Who are your real and who are your fake friends? Because all the fake friends, all the fake narrative is going to come out in the open, and then you will have to decide whose side you want to take. Whose side you want to take? Light or darkness? Comment your opinion in the comment section below. So thank you guys. That was a brief analysis of Saturn transit in all 12 zodiacs. I did not want to sugarcoat anything in this transit. I want to say what it is the way it is. I hope you like this, and if you like, do not forget to comment your views in the comment section below. Do not forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Click all so that you get all my notification, and you can follow me on social media. For more Astro Bites, for more interesting videos, stay tuned and watch the shorts from Punneit. I have created a shorts channel that gives you short, quick take on lot of incidents on astrology, lot of events that happens in the world of astrology. Thank you for watching. This is your host Punneit. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, namaste.